Welcome to the Beach Travel Wine Podcast. This is episode 144 and we are off to San Sebastian. Oh my gosh, we just love this city. In this episode, we take you on a fascinating walking tour where we tell you all about bullet holes in fancy hotels. We also take you on a Pinchos tour and how we learnt not to be intimidated by the busy Pinchos bars and what you need to do to go in and order the food. And we also tell you about the most disgusting thing that I thought I was ever going to eat, which turned out to be really delicious. So we had a week here. This is our second time, as I said, and we just love the city. We take you all along the promenade, up the mountains, to the harbour, near the aquarium, across the river, to the train station, like everywhere you want to know. Everything you need to know about San Sebastian is in this episode. So please enjoy episode 144. And if you would like to see all the pictures I took and the map I've put in, an interactive map, and the links to the tours that we did, then click the episode description in the podcast player you're listening on now. Good morning, Lyle. How are you today?
Buenos dias, Leonita. Sorry.
That's all right. As I said at the intro, San Sebastian, probably Lyle's favourite Spanish city. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Tell us a bit about San Sebastian. Then I think by the end of it, you'll understand why it's probably one of our favourite cities for both of us.
Well, being a local, I would call it Donostia.
Okay.
Because, see, you've got,
It's
in Basque Country, yeah. And when you're a real local, you actually get to call it its nickname. It's the Pearl of the Cantabrian Sea.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I loved it. You say my favourite city in Spain, I'd almost say my favourite city in the world. It's just magnificent. So San Sebastian is a beautiful coastal city in the Basque Country located in the north of Spain, right on the Bay of Biscay, very close to the French border. It's only about 20 miles from there. It's at the foothills of the Pyrenees. It is the capital of the Guipúzcoa province and famous for its stunning beaches like La Concha, vibrant culture and world-class cuisine. Now, how did we get there? We travelled by regional train directly from Segovia to San Sebastian. It took about 5 to 6 hours.
That's on the main line from Madrid, though. That's why.
And obviously Segovia's only about 30 minutes from Madrid. So
we've been there before, and we went from Barcelona.
Yep, that's right.
And It's a beautiful train ride.
Yeah, it's glorious.
Just the scenery on the way, it's worth, even though it's not as fast as some other trains, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's not like down south where it's arid. It's just beautiful hillsides and, yeah, it's just magnificent. There are 3 close by airports.
Yep.
You've got San Sebastian.
Yes.
And that has connections between Madrid and Barcelona, and that's only about 20k out of town. The next closest is Bilbao Airport.
It's about 100 k's.
Yeah, that's right. And there's also Biarritz, which is, as you said, it's about 40k.
That's in France.
Yeah, and that's with international connections.
Now, there's no shuttle buses from these airports or from the San Sebastian one, but there are local buses, and we have actually caught bus from Bilbao to San Sebastian as well, from that big bus station in Bilbao.
That's right, yeah.
Now, the train station, when we were there this time, they're actually doing that up, but the train station is positioned in such a great spot. It's right on the river. It's really easy. We'll talk about it a bit more, but San Sebastian sort of divided down the middle, the old part and the new part by a river, and the train station is sort of in the new part, but you've just got to cross over a short bridge and you're in the old part of town. Nothing's too far from that train station. So if you wanted to do some day trips, and when we were first there was a lot of people doing a day trip to Pamplona because it was an easy train ride down to the running of the bulls.
That's right.
So, but I think they're going to be adding the fast train lines to that very soon as well. So yeah, it's a great spot to move around in, old San Sebastian. A brief history though would be good.
Okay, the brief history. Thank you, Leonita.
What's the word? Emphasis on brief.
The town emerged from a monastery, officially founded as a city by King Sancho VI of Navarra in 1180. So it's been around a while. Its location made it a crucial port known for fishing the Atlantic. It was conquered by the Castiles in 1200, but retained the charter, attracting Gascon traders and fostering trade. French forces occupied San Sebastian, leading to fierce resistance. In 1813, Anglo-Portuguese troops liberated the city after a brutal siege, but the conflict left it largely destroyed. The city was rebuilt with a new focus on leisure, becoming a fashionable summer retreat for Spanish royalty starting in 1845. This royal patronage sparked a boom in tourism, leading to grand promenades and neoclassical buildings, establishing its identity as a sophisticated seaside resort. San Sebastian was a key target for Franco's nationalist forces. Falling in September 1936 marked the end of its cultural flourishing and ushered in a harsh nationalist repression and suppression of the Basque language and the persecution of Basque clergy and nationalists. I think with Franco, he sort of really, because it was a pretty upmarket place, he sort of had it in as a nationalist to sort of bring it down a peg or two.
He the Basque thing is interesting because they love their culture, the Basque culture, and the signs are written in Basque as well as Spanish. People say that they don't really like speaking Spanish there, and they like to speak their Basque language. But we've never found people to be anything but helpful when we've spoken a little bit of Spanish or English. Hey.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, like in the 70s and 80s, I mean, there was the resistance there against the Madrid government, and it was quite bad. Like, it was terrorism. They were known as terrorists, but they actually ended up winning more or less their independence.
Did you? I think you did know this, but everyone thinks the beret comes from France, but it was invented in San Sebastian.
Yes.
And you see many, especially older gentlemen, walking around with their berets on.
And you see lots of beret shops.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, and basically it was for the rain, because they have a lot of rain there. It was that was for the ease of the water to flow off their heads.
So we had a week here in San Sebastian, and we had perfect weather. We were very lucky because it's quite a wet area in the northern Spain. But we decided we wanted to do a walking tour. And we've fallen in love with the Voice Map app tours because the app is free on your phone and you just search for those. There was a really good one that we did in San Sebastian, and I'm going to put a link to that because I think it's like $14 or something for the tour. And and it was one of the longer tours. I think it was about 2.5 hours. We did a lot of walking, but the thing about the Voice Map tours, I know we talk about it a bit, but you can stop any time, which we did. We stopped and had coffee at that really nice little cafe in the old town. You can come back to it anytime you like, and it's just got lots of pictures as well that come up on your phone that show you what you should be looking at. You can download it offline. They're just really cool, and this one was really good. And the guy who did it actually runs other tours, so if you really like this one, you can actually pay him and do other tours.
Well, he does food tours as well.
So let's just tell you what we saw in the tour, because we've wandered around San Sebastian, and most people have seen the beaches and that sort of stuff, but it's really nice to get a bit of an idea of some of the history, which we had no idea of.
Yeah, well, because San Sebastian's is relatively small, really. Yeah. I mean, we stayed in an apartment. Sure. Yeah, we stayed in an apartment in El Centro Barrio.
Mm-hmm.
And
was that about 3 blocks from the beach, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which is not far from where we actually started the walking tour.
The population's about 190,000 of
That's
San
right.
Sebastian. Yeah.
So we started, and at first it was along the old town side of the Urumea River that empties into the Bay of Biscay, separating the city's old town from the rest and featuring several notable bridges, including the ornate Maria Cristina Bridge, famous for its 4 grand obelisks topped with equestrian statues inspired by Paris's Pont Alexandre III Bridge.
Now, when you walk out of the train station, it's literally the first thing you see is this bridge. It's what you got to walk across the river. It's really impressive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And actually, I'm not sure whether you mentioned earlier, this is our second trip to San Sebastian. Yeah. Okay, so. And that was the one thing that stood out to me the first trip, and again, and it looked just as good the second time. Sure. Before we walked over the Zuriola Bridge, our guide points out the beautiful Maria Cristina Hotel and the Teatro Victoria Film Festival. This is where they have the film festival.
The theatre.
Yeah, the theatre.
So what they do is they roll out the red carpet from the hotel across to the theatre, and it's like the Hollywood A-listers. You can see them wandering around San Sebastian. I think it's in September.
Correct.
They hold
about mid-September. Yep, including the bullet holes.
Oh yeah, and it's the most luxurious hotel in San Sebastian. And we had no idea it's basically riddled, especially the top half, with bullet holes. And why, Lyle?
Well, obviously
from
the Civil War.
From Civil War.
Yeah. So,
and they haven't tried to cover them over. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, really.
That's right. Yeah. So the Victoria Eugenia Theatre is a glamorous neo-Renaissance, neo-Plateresque performing arts venue.
Words.
Built in... Don't we like that, Leonita? Built in 1912, known for its red and gold interiors, ornate facade and central location, hosting major cultural events like the San Sebastian Film Festival. Once we cross the bridge, our guide points out the large, distinctive building at the start of Zuriola Beach.
Yeah, so we've crossed from the old town over to Zuriola area, the beach, and the building there is quite out of place compared to everything else. And he asked us, do you think the locals liked it? And you immediately think, no, they'd hate it, but they actually really do like it, and they gather there and they like that it is so different and it's so controversial.
So it's named the Casale Conference Centre, known for its 2 glass cubes representing rocks on the Urumea River mouth.
Now, all these places we're talking about, obviously, lots of photos. This is episode 144, so Beach Travel Wine, go there and you will see all this stuff we're talking about. So once again, got some really nice photos of this. Now, Zuriola Beach, we didn't actually walk along Zuriola Beach on the tour, but we did go back and go and have a swim. It's a beautiful beach. It's like an Australian beach. It's about the only one in Spain, I think, looks like an Australian beach, as in white sand, wide beaches.
And surf.
And surf. And the first time we went to San Sebastian, we actually arrived in the middle of a major surfing competition. So lots of people on the beach, lots of surfers, and lots of cafes and restaurants along the beach and surf shops. It's like you're in downtown Gold Coast, really.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very cool vibe in Zuriola. And you're right. We felt right at home there.
Yeah.
Especially when we sort of found one of the little cafes and restaurants right on the sand, more or less.
Yeah.
Look, it's incredibly beautiful.
Now, the first time we stayed in San Sebastian, we stayed in Zuriola. Once again, nothing's that far. So either side of town's, fabulous. Lots of restaurants and bars and shops around that, and the vibe.
Plenty of sand for sunbathing, designated swimming areas, lifeguard showers, and beachside cafes and restaurants.
But we weren't there to go to the beach. We were on a walking tour to learn about San Sebastian. So we headed back over into the old town, didn't we?
Yes. As we recrossed the bridge heading towards La Concha Beach and the old town, we passed by the monument of Antonio de Oviedo, an admiral from San Sebastian, beside the Maria Cristina Hotel. Past the beautiful gardens at the rear of the hotel, and we reached the Plaza de Gobusca.
Now, all through San Sebastian, there's statues. There's some really modern artwork, like statues and things. I've got some photos, and then there's the traditional ones. It's a real mix, isn't it? The different eras. So, and they've got some lovely little gardens and parks, as you just said.
Yeah, well, this place where we stopped with the voice map, the Plaza de Gobusca, it is the central garden designed in 1885. It serves as a popular meeting spot featuring lush English-style gardens and relaxing pond with
swans.
Yep, and it's dominated by the neoclassic. Now, I don't know how I'm going to go with this. Diputación floral building, and that it's spelled Diputación.
So you cross a little bridge and you're at the pond, and you've got the ducks and you've got the swans, you've got the beautiful lush gardens. It's really nice, and it's really at the edge of the old town.
The Diputación building is an emblematic building that is praised for its elegance, architectural beauty, and spectacular facade. Next, we move through the central retail shopping district known for its upscale, elegant vibe, and the area features international brands. I'll let you go here.
Well, I was just going to say there's lots of shopping, beautiful shopping area close to the old town. So this part of town. The streets are quite wide. They've got traffic as well, but lovely fashion shops, every brand you can imagine. And then there's some really nice little boutique dress shops and shoe shops and all the stuff really. And also a food market there as you walked in, you know, got restaurants downstairs and access to supermarkets and things right in the middle there. There's just probably 4 or 5 blocks of this shopping precinct. And we wandered around there. I bought a nice little top. So it's...
And if you remember the actual main streets are all tree lined and
they're beautiful.
Like it's you could be anywhere in the world, and as you say, with the high end fashion shops and everything, it was actually pretty impressive.
The other thing I noticed about San Sebastian is that, especially since our last visit in 2016, was the coffee culture. Like there's a lot of cafes now, like with really like talking about the roasted beans and that sort of stuff and fancy little names. And we have one right near where we were staying that you would pop down and you could get so cheap, you know, €50 or something.
Well, as you say that, San Sebastian is known for probably being one of the more expensive cities in Spain.
Yeah,
that is the truth. But
we didn't find
as we go on and we'll talk about the Pinchos bars and that sort of thing, we'll explain how we don't think it is that expensive.
No. So from the sort of fashion area and the restaurants and things, you walk through another park promenade area, don't you, to get to La Concha
called
Beach?
El Verde Era Park, situated directly in front of the town hall, which was the original casino. And in the voice map, it talks about it. It hosted all sorts of spies during the Second World War. Because, they were going through the Civil War, but they remained neutral in the Second World War. So all the spies from all the countries used to go to this casino. Yeah. And it was quite funny listening to how they describe what used to go on there. Now, the park is known for its stunning sea views, palm trees, and the 2-level carousel built in 1998. The carousel is a replica of a 1900s design featuring paintings under its roof by famous artists such as Monet and Van Gogh.
Yeah, it is pretty spectacular. Nice little photo of that. And this is quite a big, wide area. It's a park, but it's more paving than grass. But there are little areas of gardens that you can walk around. There's some pretty flowers and palm trees and things. And then, of course, it's, as you said, the carousel and then the casino or the old casino. And then you're right on the most famous promenade, I think, in Spain. And it's beautiful. And it's known for the La Concha Beach, it's called, which is the shell. It's a horseshoe-shaped beach. Once again, really wide, flat sand, no surf. It's because it's obviously protected from the bay.
The Cantabrian Sea, yeah.
Yeah, so... But just people, like it was this time we were there, it was very busy. And I think someone else we knew went and they just said, oh my gosh, there were so many people, didn't like it. But I have to say, I love the vibe of San Sebastian, especially the old town and especially La Concha Beach. Like the beach is so long and so wide that there's just place for everybody. And I don't know if you remember, there was a guy actually doing murals in the sand.
That's right, yeah.
So it was that big, and I've got a really nice photo of that too. And people were throwing money down to him, just making a bit of money.
Well, he had a blanket and a bucket, and obviously people are trying to get into the bucket. So it was a pretty good marketing ploy, actually.
And his Instagram handle he had in the sand as well. So that was nice. You can wander all the way along that promenade. It is beautiful, and at one end you've got Mount Urgel, and the other one you've got Mount Igueldo and La Concha in the middle. And if you Google anything to do with San Sebastian, and you'll see the photos on our website as well, this is what you're going to see.
Yeah.
It's just stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've done that very well. Written all down the notes there, and I think you've pretty much got it. Yeah, the railing that goes around the actual beach, around the promenade, is pretty famous.
Yeah. Apparently there's one panel that was put in backwards. We never found it.
No, we did have a look. Yeah, we have time one day and we
Yeah.
were trying to find it, but we didn't.
way did we go?
One thing that you did miss, it overlooks Santa Clara Island that features
that's true.
La Perla Spa and Cafe area, which is these cafes and wellness areas are pretty much right on the sand.
Yeah, so the promenade's up higher than the beach, probably 3 meters higher. But there are restaurants in these wellness areas down on the beach. And there was we went to a restaurant there, and we're trying to find the one we went to the first time, and they've got like a gym there.
That's right.
Yeah, so you go down through the restaurant into a gym. I mean, what a view.
Yeah, doing your exercise.
Yeah.
It's also known for its elegant, historic 19th century feel, including the Miramar Palace, originally built in 1893 as a summer residence for Spanish royalty. It includes palace buildings, extensive gardens, and former coach houses.
It's easy to see that, and that's free to enter because it's got a beautiful big garden out the front, and people were there picnicking. If you go left along the beach promenade, you'll come to the end of the beach, which is Orondata beach. There's another beach at the end. Right. You go through a tunnel. You remember that tunnel? And they've done this huge mural. It's painted these beautiful blues and stunning. And then above that is a staircase where you can go up to the Miramar Castle and go into the gardens. And there are lots of people wandering around there as well. So we discovered that this time. And beautiful houses and hotels along that walk as well, opposite the beach, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the first time we went, I think we only had 3 days, whereas this time we had 7 days. So we just took our time and really enjoyed it. So,
right, so if you keep walking along there, you come to the funicular.
That's true. Now, the funicular takes you up to
Mount Igualdo, which is a little fairground area.
Yeah, Mount Igualdo from Ondoreta Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the first time we went, had a ride on the wooden roller coaster.
Yeah, and
it's built in 1928.
Right, I would never do that again. We hopped on it, and the next thing you know, you're heading out off the bloody land, like it's hanging over the edge.
It's crazy. I don't know how we did it.
But the views were worth it. But I looked at it this time and thought, no way. But the funicular, we got there first thing. I think it opens at 10 or 10:30, and we just got there, about 15 minutes before it opened, and we got straight up, not a problem.
320 metres.
Yeah, and it goes
almost straight up.
Yeah, so
it's pretty frightening, really.
But you've got to do it because that is where the best views.
The views of it's La Concha Beach, and it's just unbelievable.
But and there's also a restaurant and cafe up there, so you can have something to eat. It used to be where the casino was.
Yeah, there was an old casino. Now it's a major hotel.
That's right. Yep. But honestly, the fairgrounds are for little kids. There wasn't a lot there.
No, pretty average. But if you consider that the roller coaster was put, in 1929, it's been there a fair while. Yeah. So and the rest of it looks like it was there in 1929. But it was, as you say, the views are magnificent.
Yeah. So you got to get back down the funicular, and then you've got your walk back around the beach. And as you're walking back around back into the old town sort of area, the views you've got then across to Mount Urgel, and as I said, the Miramar Castle and the gardens on your right, the right hand side as you're going along. The restaurants along the beach. There's people on the beach everywhere. People walking. It's a really wide promenade. Oh, it's just magical.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you say, you've got this present beach, and on one side you've got a mountain on each side of it, like sort of like pillars, and they look directly out into the Canterbury Sea.
Yes,
and as you say, you've got this beautiful promenade and the gardens. It's just magnificent. And then as you walk up, that Mount Urgel,
that's right.
It's at its highest peaks is about 120 meters.
There's also at the bottom of that is like the marina. There's a harbour there.
That's right.
And the boats come in and out there. So the beach isn't at that end. It sort of stops about where the casino is.
And that's where what the voice map said to us was some of the best seafood restaurants in San Sebastian. Now they're not modern restaurants by any stretch of the imagination, but you just walk along there and it's just, you can imagine, just fresh seafood. And because San Sebastian's got the most Michelin stars per square metre than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So the food is spectacular, which is what we're coming to very soon.
But you can walk up. So you can walk up Mount Urgel. On the top, there's a 12-meter statue of Jesus.
Christ. Yep.
There's a museum up there as well.
Yeah, castle and a fort.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Casa della Historia,
right,
which is the museum. So
and there's tracks that you can walk up there, and it's a nice view. So when you're on that part of the city, you're looking down over the marina, the harbour, and then you can see into the old town as well. Now, at the harbour there is also a really popular aquarium that we didn't go into, but we went and had a look around the outside of that. And once again, the views back over then to Mount Igueldo are pretty spectacular, and across Santa Clara Island, and then across actually to that Miramara Castle. So anywhere you're going to be on one of these mountains, either end of La Concha Beach, you're going to see such incredible views, aren't you?
Yeah. Now, in this area we're talking about now, there is a fish market, and there are boat trip services. So if you want to go for a boat trip, maybe across to Santa Clara Island or out into the ocean there, you can book it all from there.
Now, from this part of the Mount, we went then into the old town through the original city gate.
The old town is a vibrant historic neighbourhood and renowned for its dense concentrations of authentic pinchos bars, narrow cobblestone streets, and 19th century architecture. Famous for its bar hopping, particularly along streets like Calle Fermin Calberton, the Plaza de la Constitución, featuring colourful facades with numbers on balconies from its former life as a bull ring, home of the 18th century Basilica of Santa Maria del Coro, the Church of St. Vincent, and the San Telmo Museum. Most buildings date back to after the city was rebuilt following the fires of 1813.
I love the old town. We went several times, like probably nearly every day we went up into the old town. And I went one day early to try and find some nice little T-shirts and things to bring home. And it's different then when there's no people around. And this is one of the places I thought I would really be uncomfortable in with lots of people, but it really is stunning. The vibe, it's all happening in this little old town area because of all the pincho bars, yeah?
Yeah. And it's a little bit intimidating, I think, because the first time we went, we went into this area, but we weren't game enough to go into the pincho bars. So this time
we did. But hang on, that's because it was our first time ever in Spain. It was our second city that we'd right in Barcelona, and we went there. We didn't know anything really about Spain then either. So correct, I think what Lyle's getting to. But our walking tour finished after 2.5 hours in the old town. And as I said, I'm going to put a link to that, and you can go and have a look at that yourself, because I highly recommend it. And because you can stop and start anytime, you get all the information. It's fabulous. Now, because we were, as Lyle said, the first time I went there, we were a bit, look, this pincho thing, we really want to go and enjoy it, but we don't really feel and we know we can speak a bit of Spanish, but we decided we would do a pincho walking tour.
And we knew the first time that we never really took advantage of how good it was. So we were determined this time
we were going to do
it.
So I did a fair bit of research and found this tour, and I'll put a link to it because it was a small tour. It was excellent. It was a local lady. She lived there.
Sylvia?
Yeah, it was really good. There were 6 of us in total.
That's right.
And we started at a really busy little spot, and then we just followed her around. And honestly, the old town, the Pinchos area, is like a maze. You probably wouldn't get lost in there, but at some stage you'd be like, we need to find this restaurant. You just got no clue as to where. Even Google Maps is pretty useless in there, I have to say. So all right, you tell us about Pincho Tour, and I'll tell you what I thought as we went along.
Okay, so Sylvia, initially she gave us a brief history on San Sebastian in general. And then she talked about pinchos were invented in San Sebastian during the 1930s to 1940s. The first official pinchos, the Gilda, anchovy, guindilla, pepper, and olive. Credit to the Bar Casavales, named after Rita Hayworth's character in 1946 film Gilda. The name comes from the Spanish word pincha, to pierce or to skewer, as they were originally held together with toothpicks.
They still are, a lot of them.
Yeah. Now,
it used to be they had all the pinchos out and they all had a toothpick in them, and you would take what you wanted, and after you've eaten, you took the toothpicks back and paid for it.
Because each colour of each toothpick was an
different
amount.
Price.
Yeah, different price. That's right.
But now, since COVID, you don't get to touch the food. They have it displayed, and you choose what you want. Now, one thing we're probably going to add later, but while I'm here, I'm going to tell you can have the cold pinchos any time of day, but if you want the hot pinchos, then they don't start until sometimes 7, some places 8.
Correct.
We've had both, and they're wonderful. So
look at this. What you'll be blown away with is the actual display of the food.
Oh, and the food quality.
It is outstanding.
Yeah.
But the big thing in San Sebastian, which we found out on our tour, is anchovies. Anchovies is their standout, their star. Yeah. And now anchovies, if you don't know what they are, they're a small, slender, silvery green fish.
That makes it sound disgusting.
Typically grow 2 to 10 inches long. Now, there's different styles. You've got, while fresh ones are bright, salt-cured versions turn a deep brownish and grey, and vinegar pickled. So that you can get fresh ones, you can get salt-cured, or you can get the vinegar pickled.
I have to say, I'm not normally a fan. I don't mind them, but I wouldn't go somewhere and order them. But on our food tour, Sylvia had everything already organised that we were going to have. We didn't have to think about it. We didn't actually get to choose. I mean, obviously, if you have food allergies or there's something that you really don't want to have, she'll cater for that. But I'm not sure if it's the first place we went to, but it was the anchovy place that we went to. We're known for its anchovies, obviously. And she brought out several for us to try, right? And if I'd have seen this written on a menu somewhere or someone suggested ever in my lifetime, I was going to eat anchovies with blueberry jam, I think I might have vomited in my mouth a little bit.
Oh, say what you really think.
But you had to do it because everyone else is having it. So at the first pincho place, we had anchovies and blueberry jam, and it was incredibly delicious.
Yeah, and there was also anchovies with crab meat.
Yeah, that was good too.
That was beautiful. That was.
I mean, it might have helped that we had a nice Albarino to wash it down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but there was all sorts of stuff. We went to another place called Sapore J.
Oh, and just before you tell us what we had there, all these places, everywhere we've mentioned today, I have painstakingly added them to a Google map that is going to be embedded in our website. So you can go and click on them and you can see exactly where they are, especially if you're going to San Sebastian, it's all going to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to this place.
And that was that had mixed breed jamon.
Okay.
And so you got the chance to taste all the different sorts of jamon, and it was, you love jamon.
I do love.
She does. I'm not even going to attempt to say it, but it is TXEPETXA, and that's where we had tried the Gilda, which was what we described first, and that was the first ever pinchos and vinegar anchovies, and we had a taste of the local cider. I'm not a big rap for cider, I've got to tell you, but anyway. And then the next place we went to was Goi's Agi, and this was beautiful. Beautiful prawn skewers, smoked salmon with anchovies, and green peppers.
The tour was great because of the food. The tour was great because of the wine. The tour was great because of the guide, all those things. Also, Sylvia gave us, I think, 3 or 4 places that we didn't go to that she recommended. And one had duck and a kind of scallops and something else. So we love duck and we love scallops. So we actually went to those places and actually went to the place that had the duck twice. It was absolutely incredible.
The name of that place is Sirimir.
Yeah.
So it's Sirimir. And then the place which had the best scallops I've ever tasted in my entire life was called ITXAROPNENA, 1910. So really hard to say.
Now, one thing we did learn, and this is what we wanted to talk about, probably all that stuff was absolutely fabulous, but probably the top thing we got out of this tour was actually how to rock up to one of these pincho bars on your own and not be intimidated, and how even if it's people are lining up and it's busy, how you just go in and get served. And Sylvia said you just got to use your elbows a little bit. Pinchos isn't about who's next. It's not like a fish and chip shop, or it's not like a waitress walking around taking your order. You literally have to know what you want, and you go up and you say it and you pay them and you get it. You've just got to push your way in.
And I think that's what intimidated us the first time. We were going relatively early and it was busy. Yeah. So imagine at 8 or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night.
Expect everyone to stand up and be polite. In fact, they say the locals sort of laugh at people doing that. And the other thing that we learnt is you don't have to, if there's nowhere inside, you just go and stand next to someone and put your stuff down on a little bench next to them. Like it's not like this is my space, don't come near me. You just find a little, and we did that. We found a little spot, and you have your drink and your pinchos, and then it's not like people are staying for hours. You're basically having 1 or 2 pinchos and you're going somewhere else, aren't you?
Yeah, and as far as the wine's concerned, you don't see a wine list. It's basically you say whatever grape you want or whatever. And the thing, as we said earlier, everybody says that San Sebastian's so expensive. Well, you're having cold pinchos for around €3, I would say, average, and they're beautiful, reasonable size. You have 3 or 4, and that'd be dinner.
The duck was a bit more. It was about €7, I think.
It
was
a
meal on its own.
It was really, really good, and the quality's fantastic. But you're only paying €2 for a glass of wine. I think the most we paid was €3. And you're going to all these Michelin star places. It's incredible. There was one other place that I want to mention.
Yeah, I was just going to say, one thing we normally do when we go to a Spanish city for a week, we generally find an Asian restaurant somewhere, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Because they just do it so well. And right near where we were staying, because I put in Asian restaurant near me, we found this gorgeous little Japanese restaurant, and I will put that in the map as well.
And that was called the Nikkei Japanese Restaurant. It's NIKKEI. It was fabulous. There was also another place across the road from where we were staying. It's called Caravan Kobusco.
And
that was cheap and cheerful, but the food was great.
Our landlord lady, she just said, look, if you just want something quick and easy, lunch, dinner, just pop over there. They're really good. And she was right. And that was just outside the Good Shepherd Church.
That's correct.
So that was another church that's not in the old town, but a beautiful big cathedral and surrounded by gardens. On our last night in San Sebastian, we went to a light show there called Luminescence.
That's correct.
And it was absolutely incredible. The photos I've got of inside that, you just can't even imagine how they can light up the whole interior of a cathedral like that.
Yeah, well, they describe it as a 360-degree immersive show that combines music, sound and lighting to highlight the structure of the church, often with live choir. We didn't get the live choir at the time we went.
Well, we were running out of days.
Yeah, but the music was fabulous. And
although the commentary was in French, Spanish, and we didn't get all of it.
But the actual church itself, as Lan said, the Good Shepherd, it is a striking neo-Gothic masterpiece known for its soaring 75-metre spire that dominates the city skyline and the large rose windows.
It didn't start till 9:30 at night, and it was our last night. We had to gear up to the train the next day. But I left that on a bit of a buzz, really. Like it was a high, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, look, it was amazing. And on that last day, not only did we go to the Luminescence show, we went to Zuriola Beach because I had made a commitment to my darling wife that I was going to go for a swim in the Bay of Biscay.
So Lila's normally the biggest sook when it comes to cold water. I mean, this guy grew up in a cold city in Australia, and used to go swimming at 5 o'clock in the morning when it was freezing. But all of a sudden, he's, turned into this bit.
What you forgot to mention there is because it was freezing and it was a cold state, all the pools I went to were heated.
Anyway, so he doesn't like to get in the water unless it's 22 degrees or less, and more, sorry. And, he just dances around a bit like a fairy trying to get in, and it's quite funny. So I was videoing him walking into the water. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. He's just going to make such a goose of himself. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, so he doesn't. He walks straight in, confident, dives under the wave. I'm like, oh, he's showing me. He's probably either chattering, he's probably shaken, but he's determined that I'm not going to catch him being a sook. And so I was proud. I'm like, look at my man. Like, he likes cold water now. He can cope. Like, he's come a long way. I was going to high five you and everything, and he comes back, and I'm like, so how was it? And he was like, it wasn't even cold.
It wasn't. As I was walking in, you're walking through the shallows, and I'm thinking, this water's warm. Anyway, so I thought to myself, I drove straight in, and I came back, and Leanne's so impressed that I dived straight until I told her how warm it was. And so then Leanne went and had a swim.
Yeah, I had to feel it, how warm it was. And interestingly, because we've been down south in the Mediterranean, and the water up here in the Atlantic was so much warmer than down south. So it must have been
I think it might have been like a warm current come through or something, but it was spectacular. The beach is busy. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of surf lessons and all that sort of thing. The waves are quite high, so a little bit careful, but there's lifesavers and all that sort of thing.
I don't think most people go to Spain to surf. So, but if you're going to, this is where you want to go. So we just love all the stuff that you can do in San Sebastian, from the walking to the views to the seafood restaurants to the pinchos restaurants to the old town. It's just beautiful. The fashion area, walking along that river. We did that a couple of days as well. It's just really beautiful.
There's nothing there not to fall in love with.
Yeah. So go and check out the pictures. beachtravelwine.com. It's episode 144. I'm going to have links to the tours, as I said, and the pictures there, and a map, as I said, with all these places on them, so you can click on it and just see exactly where it is and find out the information about it. But the number one important question that everybody stays to the end to hear is, where was your favourite place to have a glass of wine, Lyle?
I think probably the place that... Look, you could have La Concha Beach, where we only had coffee there. But I'd say my favourite Pinchos bar was the bar that had the duck, and I would say that the glass of wine there. Okay. So that was Siramir.
Okay, that was your favourite? I would say my favourite would be up the top of the funicular. That's with the views down over La Concha Beach. You've either got to go there and have a coffee or a glass of wine. So that's definite.
Leanne said to me yesterday when we were talking about doing the podcast, she said, I really want to go back to San Sebastian again.
Well, we're going back over our notes and getting the pictures ready for the website, and I look at it and I just think, I'd love to go back there, because now I know all about the pinchos, and it's great. Unfortunately, you know what I'm going to say?
This is our last... Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, in this series, this is our last Spain episode. However, we will be back with some amazing wine regions in Australia before we head off on our next European adventure, and we can't wait to share that with you too. So it's hasta luego from me.
Yeah, hasta luego from me.